Namaste and welcome back to today's episode of Mahabharata Matters. In the previous episode, Mausala Parva had ended with the submerging of Dwaraka. Arjuna had arrived at Hastinapura. He told his brothers everything that had happened at Dwaraka. He told them about the demise of Satyaki, Balarama and Krishna. He told them about the submerging of Dwaraka. He told them about his failure to protect the women and children on his way to Hastinapura. He also told them about the words of advice he received from Vedavyasa. He also narrated to them how he had seen Krishna the previous day in his dream. He told them how Krishna had mentioned to him that their end too was nearing. All the brothers were dumbstruck. They had nothing left in this world without Krishna. Yudhiṣṭhira said, "Arjuna, time is of supreme order. He consumes each one of us. Now it is our turn to melt into this melting pot. I think it is time for our Mahāprasthāna now." Arjuna agreed. He said, "Time is the only ultimate victor. I have no desire to live in this world without my dear friend Krishna either." Bhima, Nakula, Sahadeva and Draupadi all agreed it was time for their Mahāprasthāna. Hence, this Parva is called Mahāprasthāna Parva. Yudhiṣṭhira made arrangements and coronated Arjuna's grandson Parikshita as king. He made Yuyutsu, Duryodhana's half-brother, as his guardian and protector. He also made Vraja, a descendant of Krishna, as the king of Indraprastha. All the 5 brothers and Draupadi discarded their royal robes and clad themselves in the clothes made of tree bark. They looked like ascetics, similar to when they had left for the Vanavasa. But this time, their faces looked very different. There was serene placidity on their faces. Yogis could give up their mortal bodies in many ways. Some of them, like Bhishma, Vidura, Balarama, Vasudeva and others, had taken samadhi and shed their mortal bodies. The Pandavas and Draupadi had decided to take Mahāprasthāna by fasting and ascending the Himalayas. When they started their journey from Hastinapura, a stray dog started following them. First, they went where Dwaraka used to be. The dog followed them there too. They saw the placid ocean where the city of Dwaraka once used to revel in all its glories. At that time, Agni, the lord of fire, appeared before them. He said to Arjuna, "Arjuna, I gave you the Gandiva and the divine quiver with unending arrows when you burned the Khandava forest. I brought it for you from Varuna. There is no purpose of it for you anymore. It is time for you to return them back to Varuna." Arjuna was heartbroken to hear that. Gandiva and the quiver had become a part and parcel of his body. Now he had to let them go. He knew he had to. He made his final prostrations to Gandiva and the quiver. Then he dropped them into the ocean in order to return them to Varuna Deva, the god of waters. After that, they traveled towards Mount Meru. The dog followed them there also. They started ascending the mountain. The dog still followed them. After some climbing, Draupadi collapsed and she died. Bhima was shocked. He asked Yudhiṣṭhira, why did she die here itself? Yudhiṣṭhira said, "Draupadi was married to all 5 of us. She was always a little more fonder of Arjuna. This was her only folly, so she died." The brothers continued to climb. The dog was still following them. After some time, Sahadeva collapsed and he died. Bhima asked again, why did he have to die here? Yudhiṣṭhira said, Sahadeva was slightly proud that he was more intelligent than everyone else. He was proud of his wisdom. This subtle intellectual pride made him die. Yudhiṣṭhira, Bhima, Arjuna and Nakula continued to climb. The dog followed them. After some time, Nakula collapsed and died. Bhima asked again, why did he die? Yudhiṣṭhira replied, Nakula was the most handsome of all men of his times. He had even smeared mud on his face when we left for Vanavasa so that he could cast off any evil eye. He was proud of his appearance. This subtle pride about his physical appearance made him die. Yudhiṣṭhira, Bhima and Arjuna continued to climb. The dog followed them. After some time, Arjuna collapsed and he died. Bhima was shocked. He asked Yudhiṣṭhira again, why did Arjuna also have to die? Yudhiṣṭhira replied, Arjuna had claimed that he could kill all his enemies single-handedly. By saying so, he had insulted the prowess of all other heroes. His subtle pride about his skills made him die. Yudhiṣṭhira and Bhima continued to climb. The dog followed them. After some time, Bhima collapsed as well. He asked Yudhiṣṭhira, "Before I die, I want to know, dear brother, why am I dying here?" Yudhiṣṭhira said, "You would boast about your strength and you were fond of eating. This subtle arrogance and gluttony made you die." Bhima died after that. Yudhiṣṭhira continued to climb, and the dog was still following him. He had reached the Shikhara, the tip of the Meru mountain. Suddenly, a great effulgence engulfed the entire area. Indra had descended from the heavens with his chariot. He said to Yudhiṣṭhira, "Come, Yudhiṣṭhira, I have come personally to take you to heaven in my chariot." Yudhiṣṭhira said, "How about my brothers and my wife? I cannot go where they are not there." Indra said, "They have already arrived where they should. But you are going to become immortal because you will be the only person who would have entered heaven with his human body. Come, ascend my chariot." Yudhiṣṭhira said, "I will ascend the chariot after this dog. He has been following me ever since we left Hastinapura. It is only right that he should go to heaven along with me." Indra refused and said, "This is after all a mere dog. It cannot ascend my chariot. Do you want to give up heaven for the sake of this vain, useless creature?" Yudhiṣṭhira said, "I cannot abandon someone who has taken shelter under me. I can forego anything, even heaven, if I have to, but I will not abandon this dog." Instantly, the dog took its true form. It was none other than his father, Yamadharma. He said, "You passed your test. I tested you once before when I came to you as a yaksha. All your brothers had died at the lake, but you answered all my questions and had revived them. Today you passed my test again. You would not abandon this dog who had followed you. Hence, you will be the only person who has achieved this feat of going to heaven with your human body." Yudhiṣṭhira ascended the chariot of Indra and they started traveling upwards. With this, the Mahāprasthāna Parva comes to an end and Svargarohana Parva begins. So, what are our takeaways from the story? Mahāprasthāna means going to a place of no return. The jiva has to break the shackles of bias, pride of intellect, vanity, arrogance and gluttony that are pertaining to this body. All these have to fall off. Only then he can reach heaven. At the time, only dharma accompanies him. We saw a perfect depiction of this in Yudhiṣṭhira ascending to the heavens with Indra in his chariot. Learned people do not have to make an effort to practice dharma. When they are enlightened, dharma becomes their very nature and whatever they do is always dharma. With knowledge, they can never do adharma. With these thoughts, we come to the end of today's episode. Remember, in this series, we are discussing matters of Mahabharata because even today, Mahabharata matters. Hari Om!